Okay, so essentially you're saying that around the table that day,
Yes.
you were looking at the inputs that were given to you by officials and by the ministers and concluded that there was activities within Canada.
Threats of serious violence
okay.
was the key ones.
And can you elaborate on what those threats were? What led to that conclusion?
Yes. And again, we went around the table with officials from all different agencies and heads of departments to talk about this. There was the militarization of vehicles, for example. We'd seen, weaponization of vehicles. We'd seen, cars ramming into police officers or other cars at Coots. We saw an incident like that in Surrey, I believe. We saw trucks used as potential weapons, certainly in Ottawa, with their presence and unknown interiors. There was the use of children as human shields deliberately, which was a real concern both at the Ambassador Bridge and the fact that there were kids on Wellington Street, that people didn't know what was in the trucks, whether it was kids, whether it was weapons, whether it was both. Police had no way of knowing those. There was presence of weapons at Coots, as we saw. There was a concern around weapons being stolen in Peterborough that we didn't know, about 2,000 guns that we didn't know where they had gone at that point. We later found out that they didn't go there, but that was a real concern that we had about what was happening to them. There were a number of others as well. There was the fact that police trying to enforce laws were met with active resistance, and a group of 30 police officers trying to interdict someone or arrest someone who was carrying a jerry can into the site in Ottawa got swarmed by 100 people, and they had to leave because there were threats to their safety and they weren't able to arrest that individual. There were layers of danger that CSIS kept bringing up to us, that the presence of people promoting ideologically motivated violent extremism in the convoys had a danger of triggering not necessarily them to act, but lone wolf actors or people who could be radicalized to take actions that were violent.